Hey, what's up? This is Gizmo, and we haven't done a Gizmo chat in a long time, so I figured this is the best way to do it. We've got the Xbox One finally unveiled, revealed to the world, and there are so many questions left that we have that have gone unanswered, so we're going to kind of jump into a few and try to help you guys out if you guys have any questions. We're going to go over the most frequently asked questions and things that are pissing people off and all the fans. So first of all, I just want to say the Xbox One looks pretty amazing. System is really big and it's sleek, but it still has like a nice design to it. The controller looks amazing. Really impressed with the design of it. The graphical power of the system is 8 times more powerful than Xbox 360. And personally, like, the current generation already looks amazing, and to see it be 8 times improved is insane. And like, we're just at the beginning right now. Like, imagine in 5 years how much better the graphics are going to look. So our first question is, does this system always need to be connected to the internet? Let's just answer this straight up and up front. No, it does not. But it does require internet connection. If you're playing, a game, it needs to understand if, you have the rights to play that game. So DRM, as you call it, it'll maybe check every 24 hours or something like that, but it's not going to check every hour if you have like the disc or, the rights to play the game. There are countries around the world that don't have internet at all, and I don't really know how Microsoft is going to work all that out, but it's a little early on, so we don't have the exact answer other than it does require internet connection, but it doesn't need to always be on. You could watch a Blu-ray movie, you could play a single-player game, you don't need to be connected to the internet for those experiences, so, that'll work in that way. It's just when it needs the internet, it needs the internet. And now the biggest question of them all is pre-owned games. GameStop, buying games that that are used, or letting your friends, giving your friends a game. There has been a lot of stuff about a fee that you have to pay, like say I bought this game here, used from GameStop. This is a PlayStation game, but say I bought a game here and I open it up and I'm like, oh yeah, someone played this before, this used to be someone's game. I put it in the machine and then it pops up, I have to pay a fee, $30. Like, I'm not paying $30, I just spent, $15 on the game. So, like, I don't understand where that all initially came from. I guess it was just Microsoft's fault for not perfectly clarifying. But according to reports now, they're saying that there is no fee, and that article was incorrect. It's basically what Xbox said. It's designed to enable customers to trade in and resell games. So that fee for used games is wrong. Basically what you're going to be doing is if you play, Tomb Raider and you beat the game and you don't really want to play it again, so you take it into the store, you are, voiding your ownership of that game on your system that is installed. So once you put it in and say, Bobby buys a game and he puts it in his machine, he becomes the owner of that game. So it's one game, one owner. If you take your game and you try to make money off of it to buy another game, you really shouldn't have ownership of the game. You can't make copies of it. It's just really not fair to the designers of the game. So I think that really works out in a good way. One game, one owner. But say you want to go over to your friend's house and you take that game that you bought and you still want to keep and you put it in their machine. If you log into your account, no problem. The game will load up and play just fine. Now the hard drive is 500 gigabytes. Personally, for me, I don't download too many things, and with all these little DLC things, I don't really get into all that. So personally, for me, I don't really need a lot of space. But now that once you put the game in the system, it rips it right to the hard drive, and you play directly right on the hard drive. These discs are Blu-ray discs. They're going to be 50, 60 gigabytes each. So 500 gigabytes is not that much. Some stuff will be put in the cloud, but we got to see how this works out. But the hard drive, like I said, it's 500 gigabytes. It is non-replaceable. You can't, swap in a new one or whatever unless you hack it somehow, but I don't think you can really do that right now at least. But what you can do is take advantage of the USB 3.0 ports and, get a hard drive, a 2 terabyte hard drive, and just pop it right in there and you're good to go. So I really don't have any problems with the storage. If people want to really complain about 500 not being enough, just buy a hard drive, plug it in, and you're good to go. Now another thing, backwards compatibility. We got the Xbox 360, and now the Xbox One. Now, if you remember back in the old days, we had a Super Nintendo, and even a Nintendo. Nintendo games never worked on the Super Nintendo. Super Nintendo games never worked on the N64. N64 games never worked on the GameCube. and it was finally when GameCube finally worked on the Wii. But we're now at a point where it's been 8 years since Xbox 360. The technology and the chipset design is so old, and it's not compatible. It just won't work properly with the games that were designed back then, and even now with that chipset, they don't work with this new technology. The Xbox One and the PS4 are supercomputers, way more powerful than all the powerful computers out right now. So having something old run onto a newer system is very difficult to do. And what I've read is only 5% of people actually play older games on newer systems. So spending a lot of money and time for just 5% of people, it's not really worth it. The thing is, with PlayStation 4, they're going to have basically some type of server gameplay where you can play your old PS3 games through the PS4, I guess through some type of server interaction and cloud work. Microsoft hasn't really said anything about that yet. We don't really know what they're going to be doing. We'll see what happens with backwards compatibility, but at this point the chipsets are just old. It's not that they're being stingy and they just don't want you to play PlayStation 3 games on your PS4 or Xbox 360 games on your Xbox One. It doesn't work that way, and they would have to put two different chipsets, an old one and a new one, and it would cost you more money. So for 5% of the people that want to play old games, just keep your older system. That's what I'm going to do, because I'm still playing Xbox 360 games. Now, the Xbox One requires a Kinect, but the good thing is Kinect comes with every single Xbox. It's not going to be sold separately now. Basically, the Kinect to me is really cool. It's a really cool accessory. It's now on the forefront of the system. It works hand in hand with the system. It's got instant voice, recognition. You can figure out who you are with the camera. The camera's been enhanced, 1080p, better colors, field of view. It's a wider angle lens. The infrared can see in the dark. There's so many more improvements on it. Microsoft actually built the actual chipset and design inside for it, which really is going to help it, do more things. Before, with the current Kinect, it just kind of was like, a complement of the Xbox 360. It wasn't really designed for it. This is going to be designed hand in hand. The microphone arrays, you got this really big microphone that can hear you all across the room, and I'm really excited to see how instantly it responds to you, and I'm just really excited to see what you can do with Kinect. Now, a lot of people say Kinect, I gotta do jumping jacks, all this crazy crap. No, you don't have to do that. I use mostly my Kinect for Xbox, my pins, and I basically do voice commands for mine. Xbox play, Xbox pause. We're really going to be using our voice on this new Xbox One, turning it on, telling it to watch TV, doing all sorts of things. The Kinect does not have to be a physical activity thing, to become awesome. People are going to be designing games in new ways, so you can play it in different ways if you're using your voice. The Kinect can even detect your heartbeat. I don't know how. Don't ask me. Some kind of demonic powers, but it can detect your heartbeat. It could even see your limbs and your wrist movements. It's going to be so much better. It's much more faster detecting things. So I'm very excited for Kinect to see how it works, even if you're holding a controller and you're moving in certain ways. That there's so much you could do. It's just people aren't really utilizing Kinect as much as they should, but I think this time around it's going to be a whole nother level of awesome. Another thing with the Kinect I didn't mention is there are a lot of really cool new gestures. You could just swipe over like that and it'll fly over to the next page. You could swipe up like that, and then a really, really cool thing, this is like Minority Report awesome, you could just go like this and grip it like a sheet of paper, or like opening a window type of thing. And if you want to go to your home screen, you just go like that, and it'll shrink the window, go right to your home screen. If you want to go back out to the app, you go right there. Flies right back in. A really cool feature is snaps, where you can basically multitask and have a Skype session here, and then have your TV here and watch TV, or play a game and be on Skype, or watch a movie and be on Skype, or whatever you want. You can have like a scorecard here. You can check your NBA players, watch the NBA game, have things basically do multiple things all at once. It's about time that we get, instant on things, stuff where it's instant and just instantly happening. Kind of like running on the iPad, everything's just instant and boom, boom, boom. We don't have to start the system up every single time and wait for a game to load. We can always jump right back into that game. So, really excited for all these features. Now to have TV on the Xbox, it's pretty simple. You just hook up your HDMI in all the way to your HDMI out, pop it into your TV, and you can connect your cable to it and you can watch live TV. It's pretty amazing with the gestures. They're really aiming to have the Xbox One be the only piece of entertainment you really need in your living room, hence called Xbox One. It's the only one you need, everything in one. Really cool to have these features. You got this NFL agreement stuff with ESPN. You could play your fantasy leagues right on the side of the screen. Really cool stuff. Another question people have is my gamer scores going to be carried over to the Xbox One? Yes, they will. Also, your Xbox Live membership will be carried over to the Xbox One, so you don't have to worry about paying for a whole nother membership. It's going to be a seamless movement, so don't worry about your scores. They're going to be kept intact, and I guess they're going to be improved accounts and preferences and stuff with the cloud, so don't worry about your scores. They're all good to go. Now the controller, you can see here, it doesn't look too drastically different, but there are over almost 50 different changes made on it. A lot of them are under the hood. There's an infrared sensor on there. The handles are designed a little more ergonomically, so you can hold it. It's more comfortable. The battery pack on the back has been integrated, and it's much more easier for people with longer fingers. You don't have to worry about it getting in the way. Something with the trigger buttons are really awesome. They have haptic feedback, so if you're lightly pressing on it, each single one has a separate trigger and vibration, so you can really get a whole new sense of feeling with if you're holding a gun or if you have to press a button or something. That's going to be really cool to play that way. I don't know if the system has two different types of DualShock that the PlayStation have, which I think is really cool. Like you feel vibration in each stick, but the design of the controller has been drastically improved. I really like these buttons here, rubber. This has been fixed. I guess this is like a share button here, so you could share things. It does a DVR feature, so you could actually record your videos of your game playing and upload them and show them to your friends. And there's a lot of different really cool things that it can do. So I'm really excited for the controller. I personally love the Xbox controller. It fits really well in my hands, and the buttons are just easy to know what's going on. Now for the release date, it's probably going to be October or November. The price has not been announced yet, but I'm sure it's going to be around $300, $350, $400. We don't really know yet, but it's probably right around the $300 to $400 range. It's definitely not going to be anything less than that. At this point in time, there's only one version. It's a 500 gigabyte version. The specs of the Xbox, if you haven't seen them before, you can see them right here. 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's super 8-core craziness, and it is really powerful. Like I said, it's 8 times more powerful than Xbox 360. It's going to be really amazing when we see E3 in a couple weeks. We're going to see the games that they're really going to be showcasing, so I'm really excited. This is pretty much just a hardware unveil that Microsoft did, but I wanted to help you guys answer any questions that you may have had. Some news that you might not really like. Some news is pretty sweet. I'm just really excited for this next generation of games and consoles and all that good stuff. So this is our Gizmo chat. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope I answered some questions for you. If you have any other questions, leave a comment before. If you want to be a troll down below, leave a comment and be a troll. If you want to start a gamer fanboy war, go ahead, leave a comment down below. Just don't bite each other's heads off, because ain't nobody got time for that. Thanks for watching, subscribe, and we'll see you soon.